Hello everybody, how you doing? It's Damon here with another video. I taped this basically in the same frequency as the other, basically a recording blocks. So in this case, I wanted to talk about what I feel are my most overrated movies ever. Now, granted, most overrated doesn't mean that the movie is bad. It just means that people make it up. I feel that people are making a movie out to be greater than what it really is. Simply that. For example, an honorable mention will be The Irishman from Martin Scorsese. I mean, it was basically loaded as basically it was lauded as a very good movie with Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, as well as Al Pacino's same movie. And granted, the performance was outstanding, but 3 hours and a half were not worth it. It should have been 2 hours, 30 minutes, 2 hours, 45 minutes, and that's me being generous. So, yeah, that was a movie that I felt was way too long for what's supposed to be. So that's an honorable mention. Uh, another honorable mention would be the first Avengers. I like the first Avengers, but people make it out to be like the quality was super great, and I felt like, okay, take away the team up, the first crossover, the historic crossover, the superheroes there. What else is there unique about the movie? I'm waiting. The dialogue was Josh Whedon-lite, which means always snarky, always basically self-deprecating humor. It got really tiring real fast. That's the first half of the movie. Uh, then Loki was basically, in that case, had a basically mind controlling aspect to his character at first, and it was kind of boring there. So yeah. And what else? What else was there? Uh, well, there was a great battle at the end, and that's where give the credit because everybody contributed to this. But I even like that the way that Loki was defeated was nearly as a joke at the end, which preceded all the Marvel humor that will come in the years to follow. So that's why it's on my honorable mention, but I still maintain it's a good movie. But now let's go to my top 14 most overrated movies in my opinion. I'll start with Apocalypse Now. Everybody tells me it's a classic. It's from Francis Ford Coppola, who basically did Godfather 1 and 2, and then Bram Stoker's Dracula, which are great movies. Francis Ford Coppola also did Megalopolis, and he did Jack. So yeah, in that case, he did Apocalypse Now, which is visually a masterpiece, acting-wise a masterpiece, but I felt very bored during that movie. Like that's a movie that's about the war, the Vietnam War, and actually I felt it was very, very boring. So yeah, I wasn't such a fan of this movie, and the director's cut actually made it even more boring. So Martin Sheen, Marlon Brando, Dennis Hopper all played great roles, but I was kind of bored by this movie. So that will be the first one. That'll be number 14. Number 13. Number 13 would be a tie between Interstellar and Citizen Kane. Everybody says Citizen Kane is the greatest movie ever made. I watched it. I thought, hey, it's a very pretty good movie. Never the best movie of all time. Not even close. Not even in my top 10. It's Orson Welles' best acting performance, but that's it. To me, that's what it represents. And as far as Interstellar, it's not that it's a bad movie. It's just I felt like it was not my cup of tea. I love Matthew McConaughey's performance and that way, Michael Caine, but I didn't like that for a movie that was supposed to be about physics. All of it about physics. You had Anna Way talk about the power of love transcends all reason. And it's like I'm trying to say the movie's trying to have its cake and eat it too. Are you trying to be about science and physics, or are you trying to be about love and feelings? Because you cannot have both. So, and I felt for that kind of movie, it was 2 hours, 40 minutes, could have been 2 hours, 20 minutes. That would have been fine. Again, a pretty good movie. Maybe my least favorite of Nolan movies, but even then, that says something. But yeah, that's number 13. Number 12, everybody hails it as um it's a visually gorgeous, but is it that great? Or is it just a pretty good movie? That is 2015 Mad Max Fury Road. To me, you're not talking about a great movie. You're talking about a movie that looks awesome and talking about a movie that looks awesome, but that honestly did not add something great at the end. It's like it did not add something new to the genre. I felt like it's a great follow-up to Mad Max 3, but I'm not basically thrilled with this being a new franchise. I felt like as a one-off it's okay, but again, visually great, but tell me if the story was really thrilling. Tell me if you cared about the characters, apart from Mad Max and Furiosa. Again, a very good movie, but to me, people really overrate the crap out of that movie. So that's why it's up there. Number 11, No Time to Die. Now you might say, oh, but nobody's overrating it, Damon. Actually, people do. Some of them think it's a very good movie with James Bond heroically dying in the end. And I feel like, as I mentioned in a previous video, that the way that James Bond decided to die was kind of it cheapens out basically Daniel Craig's tenure as James Bond. It was unneeded, it was unnecessary, and it just felt like a clever irony on the title. And it might just be the second weakest Daniel Craig movie in all of the list. So basically, the ending didn't please me. I didn't like how basically the villain was kind of boring. It's Rami Malek and he played a boring villain. Everything in that movie just seemed across as it moved at a slug's pace. It was 2 hours, 40 minutes. So there was a lot of things that weren't exactly great in the movie. Sure, Hans Zimmer scored the movie, but Hans Zimmer can score any movie and make a great movie score. So that's not good enough. So that's number 11. Number 10, 28 years later. I know it's this year, and I was at the stage between this and Superman 2025. Yeah, because both of them, some of them for 28 years later, they say it's a masterpiece. It was very good. And I'm thinking, did you watch the same movie that I did? It was slow pace. There was some good moments, and the moment you really sucked in to be with the boy at the end, basically I was going to survive. Then all of a sudden you decide to do a Power Ranger like ending, and there you go for the next movie. And the ending makes no sense. It didn't match the same tone of the movie, and where you expect people to tolerate it. So I don't know. I just thought it was pretty ridiculous there. That's number 28. Number 9, Power of the Dog. Boy, was this a boring movie. I mean, the reason why I disliked that movie was it's not because of the acting. I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch played a great role in that movie, played a good rancher, a bitter rancher. But I felt like it was a movie that not much happened. He felt like a bitter individual, and I know that Jesse Plemons in the movie as well as Kirsten Dunst. But I was just thinking that movie is so slow. Nothing happens. And yet people are lauding it. And I just wonder if you see the same thing I did. Anyway, that's for Power of the Dog. Number 8, No Country for Old Men. Again, this is in the overrated list, but I really like that movie. But I don't think it's an exceptional movie either. I feel like there's things that bother me about that movie, as in uh, how Josh Brolin's character was the main character, the main good guy, gets killed like that off screen, and it's not mentioned after this. The main reason why I think people, basically at the end, the thing is not solved, the case is not solved. The sheriff did not find him. It just ended up with Anton Chigurh basically, yeah, he got wounded, but he got away. And I felt like it was kind of like it kind of made me feel like the movie was just mundane. So if you didn't take away Anton Chigurh's character in that movie would not have been a success. So it felt like it was a one character movie and it's the bad guy there. For that's No Country for Old Men. Number seven, Black Panther 2. What I said about No Country for Old Men is I really like this. Black Panther 2, not so much. I thought that Black Panther 1 was a pretty good movie. Black Panther 2, though, it worsened everything. I thought that Black Panther, the way it ended, it's like, okay, it was the end of a trilogy, open up Wakanda to the rest of the world. Whereas this one, it felt like trying to undo what they did. I mean, Ramonda basically wonders why she should help the rest of the world. Despite the news flash, you agreed to open Wakanda to the rest of the world. Uh, at first, Shuri is mourning the death of Chala, but more and more she became a bit I felt like she became more and more entitled and rageful, and like she thought that everything was owed to her. I got the feeling of like a spoiled character, like the Shuri that was in the first one in the Avengers movie. She wasn't there. Like she wasn't smart, she wasn't witty, she was just bitter. She was just bent on destroying as much lives as she could. Riri as Aaron Art I thought was so stupid. It's like a Disney special now. Like establish a new character and make them perfect the way they are, rather than basically have a struggle, a resolution, basically have to work to become as talented as they did. Like Luke Skywalker didn't become a Jedi in like 10 minutes. It took over three movies to basically master the Jedi, master the power of the Force. And Namur with the little ankle wings made me laugh. And the best thing in the movie was Angela Bassett as Ramona, and the way their character died was so undignified. Like that character deserved better. And let's not forget it was 2 hours, 40 minutes. The 40 minutes at least was basically based on conversation underwater. So already there, not a really pleasant time at the movie theater. So that's number seven. Number six. Huh. Number six. I would grant it to Avatar. The first one rather than the second one, because second one, you know what to expect. The first one is like many people, it's one of the movies that basically has broken the box office as most of, and is one of the movies that most people have went to see the movie theaters to see, and it was good, but it was not special. This is James Cameron. He did Terminator 2. He did Aliens. He did True Lies, an underrated classic. He did Titanic. He did so many other classics. And it's like Avatar to me, it's like visually gorgeous. I won't take away this from this. It's a movie that needs to be seen on the big screen. However, story-wise, is there so much that I remember? Not really. Like I thought the story is generic as all hell. The acting is not bad, but it's not great. The special effects and visual effects are excellent. And yeah, that's all I could say about that for that movie. Uh, as far as number five would be concerned, I'm thinking maybe, okay, what could it be? What could be a movie that people like that I didn't see? Didn't see the big deal about it. What could be a movie that people loved and I thought was just okay-ish at best? And it dawned on me that it might be Chinatown. Chinatown from Roman Polanski with Jack Nicholson fading away. It's like you would think it'd be a movie that'd be very, very exciting, but it's not. It's a boring case. Yeah, there's suspense building up to a resolution, which I thought was kind of subpar. I mean, the performance are excellent. Jack Nicholson is always fading away as always, but I felt like the movie, the actors elevated the material, the script, because by itself the script wasn't exactly great to my opinion. So that's number five. Now, this is where I might really, really anger people, but number four, It's a tie between Dune 1 and Dune 2 from Denis Villeneuve. I usually like Denis Villeneuve's movies, especially Sicario and Arrival and Prisoners. However, Dune, I felt like, as much as people say it was gorgeous, I can't wait to see it, I felt like it was mostly boring at times. Hans Zimmer's score and the visuals effects, don't get me wrong, are excellent, but a lot of action in the movie, the action scenes were excellent, but a lot of time nothing happened. It felt like nothing happened, nothing happened, nothing happened. And those moments really made me feel like, okay, that movie is way too long. That's a movie that didn't have need to be two parts. And I was looking at my watch while I was watching the movie. Like, it's not a good sign there. And that's a movie that you could tolerate the movie theater, but if not, I don't need to see it again. It's like pretty good movie, don't need to see it again. Timothée Chalamet, again, great acting. Rebecca Ferguson as well. Josh Brolin, Jason Momoa. The acting's not the problem. The action is excellent, but there's not enough action for that movie. So yeah, that's why and especially I wouldn't put it as high as this until I heard that Steven Spielberg thought it might be the best sci-fi movie ever. Look, you can like that movie, and that's fine, but to say it's the best movie ever of any kind, Dune, please. That's kind of, we're exaggerating a little bit. Like, give it like many, tell me about 20 years if you still think that. Until then, you don't. Speaking of a thing that basically make me controversial, might make it controversial, sorry, is my opinion of number three should be The Shining. Again, people say it's a classic, but I see it's a classic because of Jack Nicholson's Jack Torrance eventually losing it progressively throughout the movie. Shelley Duvall also, the late Shelley Duvall playing a great performance as a wife who's getting scared over her husband losing his sanity. But to be honest, a lot during the movie, nothing happens up to until the third act. The third act is when it happens. The third act is exciting, but the first two acts to me are very boring. And because it's a Kubrick movie, I think people are overrating it as all hell. So that's for number three. Now, what could be number two and one? Number two is Blade Runner 2049. I really like the original Blade Runner, but the second one from Denis Villeneuve again, I thought was ridiculously boring. It felt incomplete. It lacked something. Like it felt like here's a look at the camera, look at the special effects, look at all we can do. Yeah, but what about the story? It's find out if basically Kay, played by Ryan Gosling, is he a replicant or not? Is he the one or not? And he goes on this journey, and it's like this investigation, which ultimately amounts to nothing, to nowhere. And it's 2 hours and a half. And people were clamoring that people that maybe did not see that movie the way it was supposed. Oh, I think people did see this, but 2 hours and a half for an incomplete story is not exactly a great idea, especially if you're not meaning to make a sequel of it. So yeah, that's number two. And number one, and I know one of my best friends will love that decision. It's Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. First, Michelle Yeoh gives a performance of a lifetime, as does Jamie Lee Curtis and K Yu Kwan, sorry. And I love the fact that all of them were not only were nominated but won the Oscars because the acting deserves it. The movie is good, but people make it sound to be like it's transcendent when it's not. It's just a pretty good movie that honestly felt like more like a comedy than anything. I mean, the hot dog fingers I thought was very, very ridiculous. Uh, the bagel theory was so pretentious. Uh, what else? Oh, and an anecdote of why maybe I might be biased toward that move against that movie is once at first I read up basic synopsis, I saw 148 and I thought, okay, it's an hour 48 minutes, gives me time to just go rush because I had to go to the gym afterwards. No, it was 148 minutes. That movie should have exactly been an hour and 48 minutes. It was way too long for what it was supposed to be. I mean, it. It's basically what Peter Griffin would say about Godfather. It insisted upon itself. It insisted upon its metaphor about the bagel being about life, basically this. And it's like, screw your bagel. Screw your bagel, sorry. I just want a good movie. And this one was good, but nowhere near as good as people made it out to be. In fact, it won for Best Picture at the Academy Awards when it crystal clear the movie 2022, sorry, is Top Gun Maverick. Nothing came close, bar All Quiet on the Western Front and the Whale movie with Brendan Fraser. Now that's a movie that's underrated, that's not mentioned as much as it should be, as well as All Quiet on the Western Front. But everything all at once, it's like, okay, fine, but is it going to mean something to you in several years? Or is it going to be the Slumdog Millionaire that won the Oscar in 2008 when we all know that The Dark Knight should have won? And which of the two movies do you still remember to this day? People are really quick to talk about something being the best ever and transcendent, and my opinion is simply let the test of time determine that. If you still feel strongly for that movie in 20 years or 10 years, 5, 10 years, then fine. But until then, a good movie can be a good movie. Don't make comparison, don't make hyperbolic statement they're going to regret later. So those are my opinions. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Have a good day. Bye. Have a good day.